look rough this morning. Good morning. I'm getting up, getting the kids ready. Because today we're going for our trial transfer and blood work. And I'm excited to hopefully find out a date for a transfer. So I'm up, getting the kids ready, getting them fed breakfast so that a friend of mine, she's going to come by and pick them up, and she's going to take them for the day. And then I'm going to lay back down for a few minutes and then get up and get ready and get to the doctor. So, enjoy the journey. Gonna take care of the babies before we can leave to go to the doctor.
Yeah. Do you leave?
No.
Why are you videotaping me?
Cause you're part of my video today.
Oh my god. Well, videotape me asking this lady where that thing is.
You don't know what it's called. Woo! So, we had to come to Lowe's to return something he got for Christmas because it wasn't big enough, and wasting time because we left early. Hey y'all, I'm back. As you can see in this first part of the video, we were getting ready to go to the clinic, and we had a few errands to run before then, or a few things to do before then. Go to Lowe's, make sure the animals are fed and all that. It is so cold here. It's so cold. I don't remember it being this cold last winter or winter before, but whatever. It's cold, and it's not even snowing. I wish it would, because then I could understand the reason for snowing. But I mean, for being cold. Anyways, went to the clinic yesterday, and my husband and I both had our blood work done again, and that was just where they, checked for any STDs. They just to make sure that we're clean before transfer. Nothing can be passed on to my intended parent's baby. They also did a saline sonogram, I believe it's called. I'm not 100% sure on the naming of it, but they did that yesterday, and it was not comfortable whatsoever. They put a catheter in through your cervix into your uterus and fill your uterus with saline, and this is just so they can see everything and make sure that when they do the transfer, it's I guess they can put the catheter through easily and all that different stuff. But it's not comfortable whatsoever. But anyways, they did that and found that I do have a polyp on the lining of my uterus, and that has to be removed. Now, I've seen where a lot of different people have had to have different procedures to remove it, and some had to wait like 2 or 3 months before they could redo, or before they could be ready for transfer or start the meds for transfer. Some had to just wait a month, wait for their next cycle, and so on. But my nurse coordinator said that once my intended parents re-sign the papers with the clinic, because the last time we signed like all of the agreements with the clinic was last year, so they have to have up-to-date papers, so they need them to re-sign with them, and or just re-sign the paperwork, and then they will transfer their embryos from the clinic they used before, the clinic they used to make their embryos, to the clinic we're using for transfer. So I can't do anything until the embryos are there, because they don't want to remove the polyp, then start stimulating my body to be ready for transfer, and then nothing happens because the embryos are not there yet. So they want to get the embryos there, and then they will remove the polyp, which will be a procedure where I will go into the office. I will get there an hour before time for the procedure. They will do the procedure, and then I have to stay an hour afterwards before they let me get up and go home, or before they let me go home. They say that it's not a really big deal. It doesn't change the success rate of the embryos sticking. It just has to be removed so that the embryos can stick, because if it's still there, then it's taking up the space that we want to belong to the embryo. So they are going to, so back onto what I was saying. Once they get the embryos, I'd have the procedure done. They'll give my body a week or two to heal, give my lining a week or two to heal. Then I will, they will just have me start Lupron, stop birth control, and start to start the protocol for transfer. So they told me not to take the placebo pills or sugar pills or inactive pills, whatever you call that week that you would normally have your period when you're on birth control. I'm not to take those at all. I'm just supposed to go to a new pack and stay on active pills. That way, when they get everything signed and done with my intended parents, they can just set up the appointment for the procedure to remove the polyp right then. The lady at the clinic, my nurse coordinator, said that they could have scheduled me for next Tuesday if we had already had my intended parents' signatures on all their stuff and their embryos were there. So as soon as all that's done, they'll just go ahead and start me. If I was to finish out this pack of birth control with the sugar pill or inactive pill, and they were to get everything done by then, they would have to wait for me to be on the active pills for a week before they could do the procedure. So it's just easier for them to keep me going on active pills. That way they can just put me in there anytime, and then they can manipulate my body to do what it needs to do. So that is our update. It sucks that I have a polyp. Don't know why. Don't know how it got, what happened. We were a little concerned when the doctor first said I had it, just because last October, I had pretty much the same thing, but for some reason it wasn't as uncomfortable. But had that done, and everything looked great. So we were at first worried how something just popped up, but the nurse said it's just one of those things. So they'll remove it and go from there. Other than that, that's it. We had our blood work done. Of course, I got my results today. One day later, we had all this done yesterday. So you guys are like seeing a split video, because I really just didn't feel like doing the rest of the video yesterday by the time we got home. So got my blood work today. The results, everything came back great, negative, whatever. So the only thing we're waiting on is for the embryos to get to the clinic, and then we can do the procedure and go from there. So most likely it would probably be the very end of February or the beginning of March before a transfer happens. Either way, I'm happy just to see progress, and I know that my intended parents are happy to see us progressing on towards hopefully having them a baby at the end of this year. So you guys have a blessed week, and if I have any more updates, you'll be the first to hear about them. And hopefully the next update will be letting you guys know about the procedure and when we're starting meds and when we have a transfer set. So you guys have a blessed rest of the week, and we'll see you later.